friends, hope you are doing well. In the last lecture, we studied about these topics. So, we just studied about the basic structure of C++, about variables and comments, and much more about basic input and output operations. So, in this video, we'll study about various operators present in C++. So, operators are what? Operators are the foundation of any programming language. Thus, the functionality of C++ programming language is incomplete without the use of operators. We can define operators as symbols that help us to perform specific mathematical and logical computations on operands. In other words, we can say that an operator operates on operands. So some are like, you can say here operators are there, logical operators, relational, bitwise, assignment operators, and others. So we will study about each operator in detail. So number one is called as arithmetic operator. So here plus, minus, multiplication, division, and modulus. So plus, minus, you can say these are called as arithmetic operators. So plus operator is basically used to perform addition of two numbers. Minus operator is used to perform the subtraction of two numbers. And multiplication is, this is the multiplication sign, and it is used to perform multiplication between two numbers. And what are these? Divisions and modulo. These two are performed for division of two numbers. Now the difference between these two operators is, let me show you by an example. So let's take this into consideration. Let me just write 4 divided by 2 and 5 modulus 2. What do we mean by that? Okay, so the first operator returns a quotient. Okay, like if I divide 4 by 2, so 2 twos are 4, and then remainder is 0, but what is the quotient? 2, right? So this operator will return the quotient. And whereas this modulus operator, it returns the remainder. Say if I just divide this 5 by 2, so 2 twos are 4, and then 1 is the remainder. Okay, so this operator will return what? The remainder. Yeah, so when we require remainder in our calculations, then we use these remainder operators. And if you want to deal with the quotient of the numbers, then you are supposed to use this division operators. Okay, and now next we have relational operator. Okay, so relational operators are less than, greater than, or less than equals to, greater than equals to, equals to, and not equals to. These are called as relational operators. Now relational operators are basically used when we compare between two numbers. When we compare two numbers, for example, if I want to check whether my number A is greater than B, okay, and in that case I have to write whether A is greater than B or whether B is less than A. Okay, in both ways you can write. So in this way you are comparing between two, you are comparing two variables. So in that case, what shall we use? Relational operators. So relational operators are basically used for comparison. When we write program using control statement, that time, we make use of these relational operators. And next is what? Next is called as logical operators. Now logical operators are and logical or, and logical not. So logical operators are basically used when we compare two conditions with each other. So basically when you have to combine two conditions with each other. There can be a situation where you have to deal with the answer when your both conditions are true, and where any one of the conditions is true. So whenever we basically check whether my both conditions are true or not. So if you want the output to be true, if your both conditions are true, then logical and operator can be used, and operator, right? So you can say with the logical and operator we can combine two or more than two conditions. It gives the output as true if all of the conditions are true. And if only one, you can say if single one condition is false, like here you can see 5 is less than 2, it is a false condition. Okay, so in that case it will always return false as the output. So the next one is logical or operator. Logical or operator is again used to combine two conditions with each other, but in this case it gives us the output as true if any one of the condition is true. Okay, we can combine more than two conditions, but if any one of them is true, it will return the output as true. And the last operator is called as logical not operator, which returns the opposite logic. Take this in example into consideration. So inside this, 5 is less than 2 is a false condition, but when we apply logical not operator before it, so when then computer will return what? Computer will return the opposite, that is true. Okay, so next one is what? Next operators are called as assignment operator. Actually, assignment operator is a single equals to sign, and these are called as shorthand or augmented assignment operator. So assignment operator is actually used to assign the value to a variable. Let me just for example, let's take an example as I have this equals to sign and this equal double equals to sign. Now in the relational operator, there is some, you can say, some operator called as equal equals to operator. Okay, and this operator is called as assignment operator. Yeah. So assign now see here, there is a difference between equal to and, you can say, assignment equals to and assignment operator, right? So when I use equal equals to operator, I basically check equality between two numbers. Like if a is equals to b, the value present in a variable is equal to b or not. Yeah. Whereas when I use this assignment operator, I assign some value to the variable. Let's have an example. Suppose if I'm writing a is equal to b. Yeah. And when I write a is equal to b, the difference is, you can say, the difference between these two is that in the first case, you are checking whether the value of a is equal to value of b or not. Means it will check the value stored in a is same as the value stored in b. So it is called as equal equals to operator or equal to operator, where we compare between two variables. In the next thing, this is called an assignment operator, where we are assigning the value a, you can say value b, to a. Actually, the value which is present at the right side will come under the value, you can say, under this variable present at the left side of this equal to sign. So this is the difference between the word assignment operator and equals to operator. Okay, and next we have what? You can say shorthand assignment operators or augmented assignment operators. So there are various shorthand operators like this. Yeah. So if I write something like, let's take an example. If I'm writing x plus equals to y plus 1, so when I write like this, it is nothing but x equal to x plus and then y plus 1. Yeah. So when I write a plus equals to 1, I call it as what? A equal to a plus 1. This is what we mean by these shorthand or augmented operators. So the shorthand operators has a syntax like operator and equals to. Here we can write our operands, okay, whom we have to actually we want to combine with. Correct. So this is a syntax, you can say. So when I write a plus equal to 1, so that means a equal to a plus 1. If I say a equal or a minus equals to 1, that means a equal to a minus 1, and so on. A modulus equals to, okay, operators is nothing but, we can say, we can make use of any arithmetic operator here. Okay, so modulus equals to 2, that means what? A equal to a modulus 2. Okay, like this we can make use of these augmented or shorthand assignment operators. Correct. And then let's see the what is the next. So next we have unary operators. Correct. So next important operators we have are called as increment and decrement operators, that is unary operators. So plus plus is basically called an increment operator, which is used to increment the value of a variable by 1, and minus minus is called as a decrement operator, which is used to decrement the value of a variable by 1. So for example, if I write something like this, if I take an example like x is equal to 10, let's suppose x is 10, and if I write x plus plus, so then the value of x will become what? Value of x will become 11 after using this incrementing operator. And if I have x equal to 10, and when I write x minus minus, that means what? It is going to return 9 as the value of x after implementing or after executing this line. Yeah, and yeah, so these are called as increment and decrement operator. Now, in increment and decrement operators, there are two types. So, which are those? The prefix and postfix. Now, what is prefix and what is postfix? Yeah, so now see something. This is something called as prefix. Okay, where operator comes before operand. Yeah, I call it as a prefix plus x, right? And where my operator comes after the operand, I call it as a postfix. Now, what is the difference between prefix and postfix? Okay, that you need to understand, and that we'll understand with the help of one simple example. So let's come here again. Okay, so let's take an example. First I will okay, let me just write something. Suppose if my x value is 10, let's suppose. Okay, and then if I write y equal to plus x, prefix operator. Okay, so then in the prefix what happens? First it increments, and or you can say decrement the value of a variable. So when I write plus x, first it will increment or decrement the value of this variable. So my x in this case is equal to what? It will become 10, 11. Okay, so first it will perform operation. So x will become 11. Then I will assign this value to y. Okay, then I will assign this value to y. And so my y also will become what? Y also will become 11 then. Okay, this is an example of, you can say, prefix operator or prefix increment operator. Yeah, whereas in postfix, what we do? First, we will, let me just write here x equal to 10 and y equals to x plus plus. This is an example of postfix. Okay, so in postfix, what we have to do? First of all, it will assign that particular variable's value to y. Okay, so my y will become first 10, and then it will increment my x. Okay, and then while incrementing it by 1, so my x value will become 10 plus 1, that is 11. Okay, after executing this line, after assigning its previous value to variable y. Okay, so this is how prefix and postfix works. In prefix, first it will increment or decrement the value of a variable, then it will assign that value to a separate variable. Where in postfix, first it will assign the value to the variable, then increment or decrement operations will get performed. Yeah, that is the difference between prefix and postfix. They both come in the category of increment and decrement operator. And now these operators are also called as unary operators. Why? Because they operates on only one operand, like only one operand is required. Okay, that's why. Whereas in arithmetic operator, like a plus b, in all other operators as well, we need two operands to work on them. Okay, but here we can only make use of one operand. So we call it as a unary operator. Now, next is what? Next is ternary operator, or we can say conditional operator. Now, the conditional operator is equivalent to if else statement. Now, what is if else statement? In the if else statement, and what we do actually? Okay, as of now, you just understand that in if else condition, so this is a simple logic behind that. If first of all, what we have to do, we have to check the condition first. Here we have to write any condition. First, computer will check this condition. If this condition is true, then we get some part of our code as an output. And in else condition, otherwise, means if this condition is not true, that some other code will get executed. Okay, that is the basic idea behind this if and else condition or conditional statements, right? So now in this, what is the conditional operator, right? So syntax of conditional operator is expression 1 and question mark expression 2 colon expression 3. So here basically a conditional operator looks like this. This question mark and full colon. Yeah, so you can call this operator as a ternary operator because three terms are present. Okay, that's why. And yeah, what one more thing, like both the operators are the same, you can say same, and the syntax is what? You can say this question mark, and then we have to put a full colon here. Correct. Now this is the syntax of conditional operator. So it means if my expression 1 is true, then my output is going to be expression 2. else or otherwise it is going to be expression 3. So you can say if the condition is true, then execute these lines, else execute these lines. Okay, this is how it works. So for example, suppose if I write and on whiteboard, let me just write something, y equals to x greater than 9. This is a condition. Okay, and then I will put if. Okay, or you can say ternary operator, and then expression 2, and this is, let's suppose, expression 3. Okay, this is you can say, for example, let's take this example into consideration. So it will check whether the value of x is greater than 9. Okay, and then your y is going to be what? If it is true, let's suppose if it is true, okay, it is true, so value of y will be what? Value of y will become 100 that time. Okay, and if the value of x is more than 9, that is a false condition, then we are going to get 200 as y value. Okay, so this is all about a conditional operator or ternary operator, you can say. Yeah, so next is what? Next operator is bitwise operators. So bitwise, now here you can say these bitwise operators operates on bits 0 and 1. So that's why they are called as bitwise operators. These are, there are some, you can say these are some bitwise operators such as bitwise and, bitwise or, ones complement, right shift, left shift, or bitwise XOR. So we will see each operator in detail. So number one is what? Ones complement. So one's complement operator is very simple. It operates on the bits. So what I will do actually, what it will do, it will convert all your ones into zeros and all your zeros into ones. Okay, so we'll take examples of each operators and then we'll see how actually it works. So let me open the board. Okay, and we are going to talk about now about bitwise operators. Okay, so let's talk about bitwise operators. So first of all, let's discuss about ones complement. Okay, then let's suppose if my a value is 0011. Okay, so then after applying ones complement, so what it will become? All the zero will get converted to 1 and all the ones will get converted to 0. Okay, this is what this ones complement operator does. Okay, and then let's see how right shift work now. Okay, so now let's suppose a is equal to 0011 only. Let's take this into example into consideration, and then if I say a and then right shift, let's suppose right shift, because it is arrow is pointing to right. Okay, let's suppose I want to shift by 1. Correct, so what it will do, it will shift all the bits by 1 1 1. Okay, one condition, so let me just shift them, right? Okay, so it will come out of the loop. Okay, or you can say out of the arrangement. So this one will come here and this one will come here, this 0 will come here and this 0 will come here, but there is a blank space, okay, left behind at the left side. Correct, so those all blank spaces should be filled by 0. In that case, please remember this thing. Okay, this is the example of, you can say, right shift. Okay, and similarly, what do we mean by next one is left shift. Okay, so let's take left shift, an example of a left shift. So if I say a or my bad, okay, let me just write like this, a and left shift, I am left shifting by 2 bits. Okay, these represents a number of bits. Correct, so the left shift is just opposite to the right shift. Suppose my a is 0011, right? So 0011. Correct, so I want to shift it twice. Okay, so this will come here and this will also come here. Correct, so that means what? They will go out of this arrangement. Okay, and then in these lines, what I will fill, I will fill only 1 1. So 1 will come here, 1 will come here, they are getting shifted to the towards left, and then these are the blank spaces. So as I told you, blank spaces should be filled by 0. Okay, so that is the, you can say, that is nothing but how left shift works. Correct, and then what is the next one? Next one is bitwise and. Okay, so let's talk about bitwise and operator. Okay, and bitwise and. Okay, and a and d, and bitwise and operator, and is nothing but let's take an example like how actually it works. Let me just tell you about the possible combinations of, you can say, bits, okay, of bits arrangement. So possible arrangement can be 0 0 0 1 1 0 and 1 1. Okay, so here you see, uh, so in and basically what happened actually happens if both the bits are 1, okay, then the output is going to be what? The output is going to be 1. Otherwise 0 0 0 would be there. Okay, so this is all about, you can say, about and operator. This is how bit and operator works. Okay, so we basically, compare between two bits. Let's suppose my a is 0011 anything, and b is 1010 anything, right? So if we want to apply logical and between them, correct, so that means what? We have to see the combinations. Okay, and we just already discussed about all the possible combinations, correct? So 0 1 should be 0. If one of them is 0, so answer would be 0 only. Okay, and then both of them is are 1, and you can say the output would be the 1. Okay, so this is going to be the output, or you can say the answer. Correct. So, what will happen in bitwise OR? So, this is the symbol for bitwise OR operator. Okay. In that, these all possible combinations would be there. Okay. And in that operator, what we can say, if 0 0, if both the bits are 0, then my answer would be 0. Otherwise, if one of them, okay, if one of them, any one of them is 1, so that means my output is going to be 1. Okay, that is the difference between and bitwise or. Okay, and what about XOR? Okay, so as you can see, this is the symbol for exclusive or XOR. Okay, so logical XOR, what it will do, when my bits are dissimilar, then you will get the output as 1. So here you can see 0 1, they are dissimilar, right? And 1 and 0, and since they are equivalent, okay, 0 0 0 1 1, so in all those cases my output would be 0. Okay, so this is all about, you can say, bitwise operators. Okay, I hope it is clear. And then let's move on to the next one. Coming to the last topic, that is new and delete operators. So what are these new and delete operators in the object oriented programming language? Actually, these new and delete operator, we call these as memory management operators. Why we are calling these as memory management operator? So, because these new and delete operators are always managing the memory inside the system, which means they allocate a memory or deallocate a memory. Yeah, after the use, we are just deallocating the memory so that the other variable or other objects can use those memory locations or memory reallocations. So that's why we call them as a memory management operators. These operators are also called dynamic memory allocation operators, right? And now let's see what is a new operator. Okay, actually new is used to allocate memory during execution time. So when it allocates memory during execution time, it returns a pointer to that address where the object is stored. Let's see the syntax of this new operator actually. Okay, so here syntax is, first of all, data type, then pointer variable name equals to data, new data type, right? As means, as I said, the new operator returns a pointer to the address where the object is stored. So pointer equals to new data type. So let's see one example. First of all, let me just write on the whiteboard. Let's see one example using this new operator. So let me write int, okay, that is the data type, and this is how we can declare a pointer variable. Pointer a equals to new and data type. Let's suppose int data type. I am going to use int data types. Okay, now what is this new operator will do? The new operator allocates sufficient memory to hold the object of data type int. Okay, it will just allocate some kind of memory, right? And returns a pointer to its starting point. Okay, to its starting point it will return a pointer. Yeah, so what is pointer a? Actually, this is a pointer variable which holds the address of allocated memory. Okay, address of allocated memory location. Here, the dynamic variables are never initialized by compiler, so programmer has to first assign them a value. Here, I have not assigned. Okay, so we have to assign a value to a particular pointer variable. At that point of, at the point of, you can say at the point of, at the time of compilation, it does not allocate it dynamically. Okay, so it can be done in two ways. So first is what? First, let's see int pointer a I'm writing equals to new int. Okay, let's suppose I have written like this. So here a memory is allocated to particular pointer variable. We have to insert a value in that particular memory location. Okay, and how will we allocate? This is how we allocate. Let's suppose I'm writing 20. Okay, that means in that particular location which points to that a, okay, a value 20 will be stored in int type of memory location. Correct. This can also be represented as, second way is what? Second way is int. Directly I'm writing a equals to, you can say, new and the data type, and in round brackets we should provide the value. Okay, so at the time of creating the variable, you just initialize with a value. So we can write in both ways actually. Okay, this is for memory allocation. Yeah, so now dear, let's see about memory deallocation. Delete operator, let me just open that. Delete, you can say, operator is used for deallocating the memory whatever new operator has allocated. Okay, so first we create memory space of the object, and after its usage we delete that memory space by using the delete operator. So this delete operator is used for releasing that memory space when the object is no longer needed. Okay, so whenever we don't want that object again, so we just delete that object by using this delete operator. And this is the syntax of a delete operator. We have to just write delete and the pointer variable name. Okay, so what is this pointer variable? Pointer variable is the pointer that points to the object already created using new operator. Okay, so whatever space is created using new operator, that object has to be deleted. Correct. So delete is a keyword. It is a keyword. So it is all about delete operators. Now, actually, I want you to like some points, some important points. You can say you have to note while using memory management operators. The programmers must take care while writing the program not to free or delete a pointer variable that has already been deleted. So if you have already deleted a pointer variable, programmers are not supposed to delete it again. Please keep these points in mind. Okay. Second point, second important point is what? The programmers must take care not to free or delete a pointer variable that has not been allocated using a new operator. Yeah. And yeah. So, and third important point is what? Overloading of new and delete operators is possible in object oriented programming style. Yeah, one more thing I want you to note down is the null pointer is returned when the null pointer is returned by a new operator. Okay, when this new pointer will return new null pointer. Okay, sometimes it returns null pointer, in which case when there is insufficient memory available for allocation. So this is all about, you can say, two different memory management operators. Okay, so we started with what? We started with arithmetic operators, and we saw some arithmetic operators like plus, minus, multiplication, division, right? And after that we just saw some of the logical operators like and, or, not. Correct. And operator, not operator. Correct. And then you can say when we saw the assignment operator, augmented assignment operator, what is the difference, right? Those are called as shorthand assignment operators as well, right? Then we discussed about increment and decrement operators, and after that we discussed about conditional operators, right? And we studied and talked about, you can say, bitwise operators as well. Correct. So all these operators are very very important because we have to make use of these operators while writing a C++ program. Yeah, so this is all about today's lecture. So hope you have learned, hope you have enjoyed this lecture, and see you in the next one. Happy learning. Thank you.